Here's how a bunch of small mistakes killed a $5 billion company. Essence was crushing it in luxury fashion, but then they filed for bankruptcy in just 4 years. As a branding consultant, I see businesses make the same deadly errors all the time. So here are the 5 mistakes that destroyed Essence and how you can avoid them in your own business. I want to paint a picture real quick of just how massive this collapse was. We're talking about a company that went from being valued at $5 billion in 2021 to literally being unable to pay employees' salaries by August 2025. They had to lay off over 100 people 3 separate times in 1 year. This wasn't just a slow decline, it was a spectacular implosion. The first mistake is that they targeted customers instead of broke customers instead of rich ones. This is the most fundamental branding error you can make. Essence became obsessed with Gen Z customers, which is really fun, and the TikTok generation love luxury content, but they don't have money to buy it. Gen Z only contributes to about 5% of total US consumer spending. Their competitor, Mytheresa, was laser focused on wealthy customers who could actually afford $2,000 handbags at full price. And while Essence was chasing viral moments and Instagram likes, Mytheresa focused on building relationships with customers who drop 5 figures per shopping trip. Engagement doesn't pay the bills. You can have millions of followers who love your content, but if they can't afford your products, you're just running an expensive entertainment company. Essence learned this the hard way when their core demographics started pinching pennies due to inflation and economic uncertainty. Always follow the money when defining your target customer. Viral content is great, but it's the paying customers are where it needs to be. The second mistake that they made is they turned their brand into a discount outlet. See, in branding, your pricing is your positioning. In essence, completely destroyed their luxury positioning through constant discounting. We're talking about 70% markdowns every single month. They had Monday price drops, seasonal sales, flash sales. There was literally always a sale happening. And Essence only achieved a 20% full price sell through. The industry standard for this is about 60%, which means that 80% of their inventory was being sold at heavy discounts. That's pretty much a clearance warehouse. What makes this worse is that this didn't hurt Essence alone. Independent designers started publicly complaining that Essence's constant sales were forcing them to discount their products everywhere else just to stay competitive. Sebastian Omi said that the infamous Essence sale did affect our business because it created pricing pressure across the market. If you normalize discounting, then you train customers to never pay full price, and you're essentially telling the market that your products aren't worth what their listed value is. Luxury brands like Hermes and Chanel would never do this because they understand that scarcity and full pricing maintain brand prestige. Be disciplined about your pricing strategy. Run sales strategically, not constantly. The third is that one person controlling everything can create a single point of failure. Essence's CEO, Rami, had his hands on every single decision from merchandising to editorial content to back-end operations and marketing campaigns. Former employees described the culture not so great, and feedback wasn't just discouraged, it was actually banned. One former marketing employee told reporters that you weren't even allowed to say anything and that the environment was completely top down. When you run $1 billion company, this is not great. Markets move fast, especially in fashion, and trends change overnight. So, because consumer behavior shifts so rapidly, every decision shouldn't go through one person. You wouldn't be able to adapt quick enough to survive. While Essence was stuck in endless meetings, mulling over strategies for months, their competitors could make rapid pivots. Mytheresa was launching new customer acquisition strategies. Farfetch was restructuring under new ownership. These companies had distributed decision making that allowed them to move at market speed. But there's another problem with centralized control. It creates information silos. Senior leadership at Essence weren't even aware of how bad the cash flow situation was until it was too late. The board consisted mostly of family members who couldn't provide objective oversight. You should build systems that work without you and create progress that allows your team to make decisions quickly. Great brands need great teams, not dictators. The fourth mistake that they made is they focused on looking good instead of being good. Essence had incredible visual branding. They had a beautiful website, great photography, viral marketing campaigns, but there was a complete operational disaster behind the scenes. They had 2.5 stars out of 5 on every review site, and customers complained about orders taking weeks to arrive, wrong items being shipped, and customer service taking up to 7 days to respond to emails. 7 days for a luxury brand is unacceptable. But here's what killed them. They stopped paying their suppliers. Multiple designers complained about not receiving payments, and prospective brand partners started avoiding Essence because of payment issues. If you can't maintain basic vendor relationships, then the business model they're in wouldn't work. And they were spending a bunch of money on viral marketing and editorial content that did generate buzz, but it didn't solve fundamental customer experience problems. Your brand is only as strong as your weakest customer touch point. So you can have the most beautiful Instagram feed in the world, but if customers have a terrible experience actually buying from you, the brand building becomes worthless. Successful luxury brands obsess over every detail of the customer experience, and they know that one bad experience can destroy years worth of brand building. The fifth mistake that they did is they missed the entire industry evolution and got stuck in no man's land. While Essence was focused on viral marketing and Gen Z engagement, the entire luxury e commerce landscape was consolidating into two clear models. The first was massive conglomerates like LVMH, and they had unlimited resources. The other was Mytheresa. They were a highly specialized niche player, and they positioned themselves as an ultra premium platform for wealthy customers. Farfetch became the global marketplace. Net-a-Porter owned an aspirational luxury segment. Essence was stuck kind of somewhere in the middle. They weren't big enough to compete with the giants and not specialized enough to own a specific niche. So they missed their window to pick a lane and dominate it. And this is a classic brand strategy failure because when you're trying to be everything to everyone instead of being the best at something specific, when markets get tough, customers don't have a clear reason to choose Essence over more focused competitors. The ultimate lesson is that these aren't five separate problems, they're five symptoms of a core issue. Essence lost sense of who they were serving and why. Strong brands align all three: who they target, how they price, and what experience they deliver. When these get misaligned, even billion-dollar companies can collapse pretty quickly. The question for you, if you're a business owner, is if you're making these same mistakes, are you chasing engagement over revenue? Are you discounting your way to irrelevance? Are you creating bottlenecks that slow down your decision making? Drop a comment. Let me know which one you think is the most fatal. And if you want me to break down another brand collapse, just hit that subscribe button and suggest it below.